Okay, hi P6 students. This is your CHIJ Centers Girls School for 2022 prelims examination for paper 1. So we're only going through selected questions for today. Okay, so the first 5 questions from 1 to 5, I think I will not be going through. I think it's manageable. So you can refer to the solutions. Now for question number 6, okay, I'll go through this question. So which triangles A, B, C, and D have the same area? Now, if you want to find your area of your triangles, you have to consider the base and height. So let's try to find each of the triangle one by one. So if I want to find the area for triangle A, I look at the base. The base is 2 units, or rather 2 units, right? The height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So for A, my area will be half times 2 times by 7. So this gives us 7 units square for triangle A. Now let's repeat the same process for triangles B, C, and D. So say for triangle B, the base is 3, the height is actually 4. So same idea, if I want to find this area, half times 3 times 4, so I will get 6 for triangle B. Then triangle C, half times, look at the base. Okay, so your base got 6. The base is 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, the base is 5. And the height is actually 4. So I will get 10. And then finally, your triangle D is half times 4 for the base and times 3 for the height. So I will get 6. Okay, so if I want to find the triangles that have the same area, it will be triangles B and D. So it's option number 3. Okay? Okay, let's move on to question number 8. So question number 8. In the figure, PQRS is a square, RST is an equilateral triangle, QUS is a straight line, so find angle QUR. So whenever you see a geometry question, first thing is to annotate your diagram. So I will annotate my diagram. This is a square. So draw in your markings or your whiskers. And then RST is your equilateral triangle. So I will draw in my additional markings for this triangle. Okay, so you can see that you can simply put down your straight lines because all the lines are equivalent. So I can just draw straight away like that. Okay, so you want to find this angle. So if I want to find I know the equilateral triangle, all the angles are 60 degrees. These are all your 60 degrees. So I can find first angle TRQ. Okay, by taking my 90 degrees minus my 60 degrees. So I get 30 degrees. That's for angle TRQ. This is 30. Now you see this line, SQ, that cuts your square exactly in the middle, diagonally across like this. Okay, let me switch to highlighter mode. You see this diagonal line here? So if this is a square and you see a diagonal line that cuts exactly diagonally across, then for sure it will cut your 90 degrees in half. So this will be your 45 degrees. And this will be your 45 degrees. Okay, you must make sure it's a square, not a rectangle. Once I know these two angles, I can find my angle QUR. So angle QUR is your 180 minus 30 and minus your 45 degrees. So I will get my angle, which is 105. Okay, so it's option number 2. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So question 8 is done. Okay, question number 11. 11, I'll go through this. So the table shows the number of badges 3 girls had at first. So this table gives you the name of the girls and the number of badges respectively. So Skylar has 36 badges, Nomi has 21, and Goldie has question mark. We have no idea how many badges Nomi get. Now, Skylar and Nomi each gave Goldie the same number of badges. Then Skylar and Goldie had 26 badges each. So what happens is that Skylar and Nomi, right, they have badges here. So they each gave Goldie the same number of badges. And because Skylar got the same as Goldie, these two became the same. So how many badges did Goldie have at first? You want to find Goldie at first. Okay, so what you can do is, I look at Skylar. Skylar got 36 at first. If she has 26 badges at the end, you can find out the number of badges she gave to Goldie. So 36 minus 26, I get 10 badges. So this 10 badges is the badges your Skylar gave to Goldie. Okay, so Skylar gave 10 badges to Goldie, which means that Goldie should also receive 10 badges from Nomi. So Skylar minus 10, Nomi minus 10, which means that Goldie will receive 20 badges. Correct? Plus 10 from Skylar, plus 10 from Nomi. And I know over here that Goldie has 26 badges at the end. Correct? So how do you find for the badges at first? I will do the reverse. So I take 26, I minus 10, minus 10. So I will get 6 badges at first for Goldie. Okay, so I get option number 3. Okay, next one, question number 12. Now, draw back 36 English books and 54 Chinese books into as many bags as possible with no remainder. So I know for sure that this will be a factor question. Correct? Because when you pack into your bags and there's no remainder, means that your number can be easily divided by this number by a factor. Now, he placed the same number of books in each bag, and the number of English books in each bag was the same. Means that your English books, right, every one bag contains the same number of books. If let's say you put 3 books in one bag, the next bag must also have 3 books. Okay, it cannot be a 3, 6, and then suddenly become 10. It's not equivalent. It's not the same. So how many English books did he pack into each bag? Okay, so I know that this question, if you want to find as many bags as possible, okay, this means that I'm trying to look for the highest common factor. Correct? You want to find your highest common factor. Between what numbers? 36 and your 54. So I need to list down my factors of 36 and my factors of 54. So let's do some listing. 36. So I have English. And then 54, your Chinese. Okay, so there's 2 types of books. So factors of 36. Let's always start from the smallest. So 1 and 36. 2 and 18. So 3 and 12. 4 and 9. And finally 6 and 6. Okay, now repeat the same thing for your Chinese books. So 54, right? So 1 times 54 2 and 27, 3 and 18, 4, is it possible? Not possible. 5 cannot, 6 and 9. Any more numbers for factors of 54? Okay, no more numbers. That's the end for factors of 54. So once I record these down, let's look for the highest common factor, the biggest number over here. So I will realize that the highest is actually your 18. Of course, you can choose to circle all the common factors first. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 18, 9. Okay, do not need to double count the 6. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. It's a good practice. So my highest common factor, okay, so my HCF is 18. Okay, 18 means that maximum bags is 18. You can get 18 bags. So how do you find the English books inside one bag? So English, 18 bags. Inside is 2 books each. So it's option number 2. Okay? Okay, let's move on to the next one. Question number 13. So a semicircle with a diameter of 21 cm is cut out from a square piece of cardboard. So this is a square. What is the perimeter of the remaining piece of cardboard? Okay, so I want to find the perimeter means I need to find the outline of my cardboard. So a good practice is to trace out your whiteboard. Sorry, not whiteboard, trace out the cardboard. Okay, so just trace out the outline. It's a very nice square with this circle at the top. Looks like a jigsaw puzzle. So I know for sure that this is 34. And then this is also 34. Because it's the sides of a square. So they are all the same. Now, how do I find this part? Okay, this curve part. Maybe you can find the straight lines first. So if I want to find these 2 straight lines, I will take 34 minus 21. Okay, so 34 minus 21 first. I will get my 13. So this part and this part is 13 cm. Okay, and I know that this is 34 times 3. So 34 times by 3, I'll get 102. So the straight line sides are done. But you will need to also find the curve up of the semicircle. Because when we say perimeter means it's the outline. So this curve part is also part of the perimeter. So what do we apply? Do you apply the area of your semicircle or your circumference of your circle? You're trying to find the perimeter. Okay, so we need to find based on the circumference. So let's look at the formula for circumference of a full circle. It's pi times d, right? This is the circumference. So if I want to find for a semicircle, it will be half times pi times your diameter, which is 21. And then replace this pi with your 22 over 7. Okay, so half times 22 over 7 times 21. Work out your value. I should get 33. So the curve part is 33 cm. Once I have all this information, I need to plus to find the perimeter. So 13 plus my 102 plus my 33. So I get 148 cm. Option number 3. Okay? Okay, let's move on to question number 15. So 15 is also another one. Okay, so Levine gave 1/5 of her balloons to Brisa. She also gave Odette 10 fewer balloons than Brisa. In the end, Levine had 82 balloons. So how many balloons did Levine give away altogether? Okay, this question, it's good if you draw out your model. So you will draw a model over here. Okay, I will cut into 5 parts. Let me try to make it a bit neater. Okay, so let's cut this into 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So 1/5 goes to Brisa. Can just put this as B. And she gave 10 fewer balloons than Brisa, which means that what she gave to Odette, right? It has to be before the 1/5 marking. This is your 1/5. If she give lesser by 10, means that this must be my 10. So what you give to Odette is from here to this dotted line. Okay? Then I know that I have 82 balloons left. So you will label from this dotted line all the way to the end. So please be very careful when you draw out your model. This is my 82. Okay, it's inclusive of these 10. So if I want to find the units, I will have to take 82. I minus my 10 first. I get 72, right? This is for my 3 units. Do you see that? So 72 is for 3. Divide this by 3. I get 24 for 1 unit. So how do you find the balloons that Levine gave away altogether? So the balloons that she gave away, you can find the one she gave to Odette. Brisa is 24. Odette is 24 minus 10, which is 14. Then I'll find all together. So 24 plus 14. So I get 38. Which means that the answer is option number 2. Okay? Okay, let's move on to the next booklet. So for booklet B, the first few questions is actually quite alright. Okay, so it's quite basic. You can refer to the solutions in the PDF, even for this question 18, 19. So let's move on to question number 20, which is on the graph question. Okay, so Kylie took part in a cycling race. The line graph shows the total distance she cycled from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. So you are given this graph. I find that this question is a bit, it's not very good. Okay, because it's not very clear to me as a reader whether this 18 kilometers, how come she starts at 18 km? Means that she started cycling from before 7? Or does it mean that she's at the 18 kilometers mark? Okay, so this question is a bit unclear. But luckily, I think it's only a 2-mark question. Or it's a 1-mark question. So you shouldn't expect to see a lot of workings for question 20. Okay, so let's try to find the distance cycle for every point in time. If I look at 7 a.m., okay, you realize that she has cycled. Okay, sorry, just now I said 18. It's actually 20 km. So let's find the intervals first. From 0 to 18, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there's 6 intervals. And these 6 intervals is 18 kilometers. So for me to find for one interval, I take 18 divide by 6. I get 3 km. So every one interval is an increment of 3. So it means that for this 18 divided by 6 is 3, yes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes. So this one will be 21. So for 7:30 a.m., it's 36. Okay, 21, 36. For 8 a.m., it's also 1. Sorry, this is 18. So 21 plus 3 is 24. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay, then for 8:30, this is, let me see first, this is 36. It's easier to draw on the paper because there's a ruler. So 36 plus 3 is 39 plus another 3. 42 plus another 3 should be 45. Okay, then this one, this is your 54 marking. So 54, 57, 60, and your 66. Okay. So once I plot this down, you want to find during which 1 hour period was the distance cycled by Kylie the longest. Okay, so I think that this question, you need to go and look for 2 consecutive highest distance cycle or the longest distance cycle. Okay, so if I look at this graph, the one that has the highest line, or rather the longest distance cycle, will be the last 2 readings at 8:30 a.m. and at 9 a.m. So I know that during which 1 hour period, it must be from 8 to 9 a.m. Okay, so from 8 to 9 a.m. Can? Okay, let's move on to the next one. So same for question number 21. This is on your table. Okay, so the table below shows the number of points scored by a group of boys and girls in a quiz. So what is the total number of boys and girls who scored at least 4 points? Okay, scored at least 4 points means that it must be 4 and above. At most means the maximum is 4. At least means the minimum is 4 points. Okay, the least number. So if I look at the boys and girls that scored at least 4 points, so 4 points is this column. Boys got 8, girls got 12, 5 points, boys got 7, and girls got 10. So if I want to find the total number, I just have to plus. So 8 plus 7 plus 12 plus 10. Okay, so I should get 37 for this answer. Okay, seems like a simple question, but I choose to go through because of the word at least. Some of you might be confused. What's the meaning of the word at least 4 points? Okay. Okay, there are other questions from 22 to 26. I think it's all right. So I will not be going through 22 to 26. Okay. How about question 27? 27, yes. So in the figure below, 2 identical poles are taped together. So you have these 2 poles and there's a common region, which is the 0.2 meters. So what is the length of each pole? So what you can do first is you take your 0.92, you minus off, okay, 0.92, I minus off my 0.2. Okay, so I get 0.72 meters. Now this 0.72 is for 2 regions. It's for this part and for this part as well. These 2 sides is 0.72. So I will take 0.72. I divide by 2 first. I'll get 0.36 each. So this is 0.36. And this is also 0.36. Okay, this part and this part. So you want to find the length of each pole. You want to find one pole. Please remember to add back your 0.2. So 0.36 plus your 0.2, I get my 0.56. So 0.56 is in meters. When I want to change this to cm, I must times by 100. So it's your 56 cm. Okay? Okay, good. Okay, let's move on to next one. Question number 29. So 29 is on your fraction question. It's an interesting one. So there were a total of 71 chocolate buns and kaya buns in a box. Half of the chocolate buns was ate more than 1/3 of the kaya buns. So how many kaya buns were there in the box? Okay, so what I can do first is I draw my model. So I will draw for my kaya bun first. So kaya bun, I will draw one model. I cut this into two. And my question here says that this half here is actually 8 more than 1/3 of the kaya buns. So I will draw my, sorry, this is the chocolate, my mistake. Okay, this is the chocolate one. So for kaya bun, it must be lesser by 8. Okay, chocolate, half of chocolate is more than 1/3 of the kaya by 8. So I know that this part here, I must also label off my 8 to remember later on. Now, is it better to draw my kaya bun horizontally, or is it better to stack them up? Okay, if I were to draw horizontally, it's okay, but you must be very clear on the units. Because some people, when they draw the model horizontally, they might get confused. You draw, say you draw this way, then you might think that this is 8 for each. Then you cannot solve the question, or you solve the question wrongly. So my suggestion is, if you encounter questions like this, it's a much better way to draw out by stacking. So I will draw 3 units for kaya. And for chocolate, I will stack this way. I will draw horizontally. So my 71 is the total for chocolate and kaya buns. Okay. Once I get 71, now I will subtract off my 2 8s. So 71 minus 8 minus 8, I get 55. So this 55 here is for how many units? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's for 5 units. So 5 units equals to 55. Find for 1 unit. So 55 divided by 5. 1 unit is 11. And you want to find your kaya buns in the box. So kaya buns got 3 units. So 11 times 3, I get my 33. So your answer is 33 kaya buns. Okay? Okay, last one. Last question for today. So question number 30. In the figure below, the area of a triangle AEF is 18 cm square. Find the length of AB. Okay, so what you can do first is you cut this into 2 because of the markings. You see these markings? FE is the same as your EC. So in other words, I know that if I draw this line across, this is your square. Like that. I know if this area is 18, then I know that this area must also be 18. Correct, is identical. So I take 18 times 18. Oh, sorry, 18 plus 18. My area here will be 36. That's the area of your square. If I want to find one side of my square, I can square root my 36. Or you can do this way. 36 equals to what times what? So 36 is equals to your 6 times by 6. So this part is 6 cm. This part is also 6 cm. So how do I find for AB? Okay, so AB means that 6 times 2. Okay, so 6 cm times 2, I get 12 cm. So that's the answer for my AB. So it's 12 cm, there's no square here. Okay, I think that's all for paper 1. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you next week.